Firstly, hi to everybody who watches my videos. Thanks for watching, I do appreciate it. What we're going to do today, as you can see, I've painted the front of the F-16 with light ghost grey, and we're now about to start putting down the gunship grey on top. Now for this, I've been very lucky. I've been supplied with this beauty, which is the Iwata HPAH Highline Precision airbrush. I haven't used it as yet. I've literally got it out of the box and I'm going to use it for the first time, so we'll do a bit of a review on that as well. I'm not sure how long this has been about, but the difference between this one and my normal brushes is this is my Iwata TR1. The cup, there we go, sorry, my mind isn't very good at the moment, I forget everything. Has a large cup on it and a 3mm needle, or a 0.3 needle. Fantastic airbrush, my go-to airbrush, I love it to bits. What I'm going to do, I'm going to test this one. Now the HPAH has no cup, it has an internal cup, so we only use small amount of paint at a time, which is fantastic, especially with detail work. I tend to like anything like that. We have some, sorry while I just get them out, some droppers which are also supplied by Alclad, and we've got mil-spec ALCE 315 SS 595-36118 gunship grey, which is the correct colour for this aircraft. Now I have the parts that we need here, the coating, or the where the paintwork goes, and it is different on each side. So what I'm going to do on this one, I'm literally with this new airbrush pick out what I need to pick out, and I'll go from there. So giving that a good shake. Stay at this place. Right, clear up just before we go. Keep clean. Okay. And obviously, with the droppers in place, like that, that can stay like that now, and I won't replace that now until the bottle's used, which is fantastic. So, as I said, not used this airbrush before. I'm just going to get some paint out with the dropper. Don't want too much in there. And then we've got to test the flow. Can you see this? Yep. So just get the setup we want. That's better. So that's lovely. Okay, now I'm going to check my reference for the top and the sides. So what I want to do is see exactly where that area starts, where it finishes. Now if I put a small amount of paint down there, that's where we're going to start. Have a look, and it comes beside that gun and straight down to this area, which is about to that part there. We'll just mark it there slightly. Now she goes out a little bit, not too much, and we'll give it a quick mark there as a line and a guide. Now on the left hand, or the port side, left side, whatever you want to call it, the area is slightly different. So what I've done, I've brought you down a little bit so you can actually see a little bit more of how I'm spraying rather than the overhead. I'm just going to move that out of the way. Check your flow. Now you can see we've got 3 points. I'm going to make it 4 because I need to see where it goes over. So we've got our 4 points of line of where the flash is going to be. It's what I call the flash anyway. So all I'm going to do, this is a lovely brush to get in, as you can see, is to start at the bottom. Now I'm very nervous with this brush at the moment, and I'm just going to bring the line, stroking it up, straight up. And all we'll do is just tighten the line up. So all that area now can be put in like gunship grey, as you'll see, just like this. And we'll just tighten the line, and this, because of it's got a 0.2 needle in this brush, which makes it really easy to use. We're going to turn our F-16 round, make sure you're still in frame, angle it a little bit towards you, so hopefully you can see. Change the lights, so hopefully you can see better. It's not too bad. Right, so we're looking on the starboard side. Now this time there's not such a pronounced area. We're looking at our, what do you call it, our references, and it kind of comes up to about there, and it filters off down, almost straight down, obviously in a slightly circular motion, but not a major curve, to about there. Right, so we're just going to have a quick look, and you'll see. Let's spray some through it. Oh, I do like this. So we then got our curve for this side as well. And then what we'll do, we'll just use the paint up in different areas. So we'll remove the tail planes. Places where I want to be a little bit more accurate. And then we'll get down dirty into it. This is such an accurate brush, it's lovely. I do like it when you can be so accurate with things. And what I'll do, I'll just angle it up. Get the gunship grey in. Surprising how much that little built-in cut holds paint wise. That's that side, lovely job. Right, on this side, just make sure you can see what I'm doing. Not a lot of light in here today for some reason. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll just paint this in. So nice when you've got a small needle and you aren't using a heck of a lot of paint, and it allows you total accuracy. Right, so I've got to change back to my TR1 now. Now, my first thoughts on this one, absolutely superb. Brilliant little number. Small amount of paint, so you don't overspray. You can control every part of it with your valve, air valve on the front, your system at the rear to stop, so you can limit how much paint is coming out. I think it's a great piece of kit personally. So, another plus side for this, extremely easy to clean up. Obviously because you don't use enough paint, or use a lot of paint. So my personal opinion is, great little airbrush for detail work. And it will be my go-to brush from now on when it comes to really good detail stuff. Okay, we're back to the TR1 and more paint. A couple of drops of the dropper. What we're going to do, we're going to backfill the lines that we've drawn because we're very happy with the way they are. And we're going to put lid on the TR1 when I can find it. There it is. I know it went far away. And we're going to backfill that paintwork all the way. So we're back on our TR1. Our flow is great, and all we're going to do now is just backfill gently, taking the squares or the different panels, as I say, and we're just going to backfill it. All the areas. The whole of the nose and the front area where we backfill, where we sprayed, across the top. Just knocking the paint in where we need to. And we're going to backfill all the different panels. I'm doing it a little bit quicker than I normally would, purely for the camera. What we want is the sweep back that we've done. The reason I do the panels is so it just protects the panel lines a little bit. Makes things a little bit easier to keep your weathering started, which is all to do with the pre-shading. So let's see, we're just going to all the areas to begin with. We will come back with a little bit of a lighter coloured paint, so that gives us a little bit more of a weathered look to her. Getting in close, 10 psi. It's more than you need than with any of the paints from Alclad. 10 psi, and that just allows you total control over the airbrush and any bit that you want to do. mean, you could blanket spray this and just build the coats up. Personally, I like to go into the panels. Again, it's practice on control of the airbrush. And all we're doing is literally filling in the lines. I hope you can see this. Anyway, so we just keep filling the panels up like we are at the moment. You won't use hardly any paint. I'm using the mil-spec R lacquer paints, lamel lacquers. As you can see, I'm not using a mask, which I should be, but because I'm spraying in such a small area and I'm not blasting paint all over the place, I can get away with it. I would always advise you to use a mask. I think that effect is coming on lovely now. So we'll just spray another side in. Keep spraying the panels in. So it just gives you a little bit more practice with your airbrush and the control of the airbrush. Just getting her in, making everything look the business. And to me, she's looking really nice. What I'm going to do is got to move her forward a little bit, move you in, so you can see hopefully what I'm doing. It's not easy when you got this airbrush. What I'll do, go at a slight angle, and you can see I'm just picking out the panels, each individual panel, and giving it what I need on the top of the primer, just to cover the panel and not go too over the top. Remember, with an airbrush, you'll put on as little paint as you can, as little much paint, as little paint as you probably can. And that's what gives you the finish. So we're just picking out the panels, filling them in, let the paint come and let the pre-shade come through. Right up where the tail sits, in that area there. Coming back to our end for the engine area. Picking out the panel, spraying it in. At the end of the air brake. bit more paint, lay it down, lovely, and the excess panels around those. Hydraulic areas. Now, I don't know how well you'd be able to pick that out. If I pull this light across here, you may be able to see it a bit better. You can see we've still got quite a heavy bit of pre-shading coming through. So all I'm going to do now is just gently blow away a lot of the pre-shading, blending that in to make it look a little bit more subtle. We're not painting this time, we're just blending. We're not putting too much paint down. What we're trying to do is to make the fuselage look as though it's been worn but not abused, and it will also be a little bit weathered by the air, by the sun. So I'm quite happy with the way that bit looks. Still giving me plenty of areas to cope with, and it's taken away that dinky toy look which I'm after. So what I'm going to do is just move this light slightly over. We're going to go on to the wing section. What we're going to do is literally lay the paint on the top of the wing, in the panel lines. Not painting it heavy because you can always go over it again. You'll see, look, I haven't moved the triggers, hardly any paint coming out. See there? That's what we're looking for. All we're doing is laying the paint down. Also on top of our areas. Where the wing pylons are. I'm just going to literally take the paint out and pull it back. Let's take you in a bit more. There you go. Right, let's see if we can pick these wings out. Just try to think the best way of doing it, so you can see. There you go. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to again pick the panels out. As I said in an earlier video, on an F-16 there's only 5 panel lines or 6 panel lines. All these areas that I'm doing now are rivet areas, rivet panels if you like. Heavy. What we're going to do is just fill her in, let her dry, fill the panels in like we did on the fuselage. I'm just going to get the paint onto it rather, so that you can see where we're going. I appreciate you can't see all this. But hopefully Well, the camera will pick it up. As we're going along. So you're just picking out the panels as you go. Leaving the pre-shading behind to be covered up when you blend it in. So that's one bit done. So just looking at the camera as well to see how we're getting on. Move some of these bits out of the way. I'm not used to doing 130 seconds. This is probably my fourth one in the whole of the time I've been making aircraft and models. So to have this size of a bird on my desk was a little bit of a shock to the system. So all we're doing, as I said, all the antenna and aerials, make sure they're covered. Coming back in, this is probably the best angle. As you can see, accuracy is not a big thing, but as you get used to your airbrush, or just as you're going along, you'll get better at it. Even I get better at it. Well, let's say even. And all we're going to do is blend this lot in now with one light little spray over, just to blend in the pre-shading. So all we're doing, giving it a really light coat. If you think the pre-shade is too heavy, just give it another coat. What we do is build her up. Anywhere we think that's heavy, well, I'm quite happy with that, and the way it looks. So what I'll do, I'll let you go, and I'll repaint the rest. We'll come back at the end and have a look. Right, so now all the gunship grey is laid down. We've done the tail planes, the main body, and I'm quite happy with the way she looks. You can see she's quite an animal, the size of her. I've got a little bit of gunship grey left in the airbrush, and to that I'm going to add a small, very small touch of white, and we're going to start to bleach the panels down a little bit. Now, some of my friends like Frank, Chris Coleman, they love doing this, and so do I. This is what starts to make the model look like something. So all I've got a tiny amount of grey in the airbrush. I'm just going to put one drop or two into the cup. Going to get our brush, give it a mix. We don't want a lot because we're not going to do a great deal to it. Less is more when it comes to this sort of thing. Ooh, there. Right. I'm going to blow the dark through. Cover up the spot of paint I just dried in. And then what we're going to do, we're going to pick out panels. Just through yet? No, still not through. That is now. Okay, so dry that off. Now what we're going to do, we're going to pick out the odd panel, and just to give it a little bit of more weathering, and to make it paintwork just shine out just that little bit more. We're not going to do every panel, literally from the middle, and just picking out panels at random, just to give it a little bit more depth. I keep going on about the dinky toy effect. This is what I always try to avoid. I don't want to just see a hulk of plastic, or what looks like a hulk of plastic. Painted grey, it doesn't interest me. So all we're doing is just picking out the odd panel, just to bleach it down, make it look a bit better. Just remember, a lot of the stuff, if this was a fully sided aircraft, when I mean side, I mean something like a Spitfire, when it has sides, they won't be bleached because the sun won't hardly see them when it's sitting on the ground, which is when they do get bleached the most. So with that side done, I'm just going to come in now, so just picking out little areas. This is very simple and very quick to do, but makes all the difference to your finished model. So we're just getting all the areas we want it. And the trick that comes at the end. Just put a little on that area. As you can see, I'm not being fussy. Just laying the paint on, blowing the areas in. It's random as anything. Now doing the pre-shading, as I said earlier, that gives you the advantage and the feel for the airbrush, so you can do this quite quickly. But anyway, we're now at the end, so what we'll do, we'll just completely over the whole thing again, just to blend everything in, as you can see. Right, and that, once we put this on top, which is looking good, we'll get a rough idea of what an F-16 is going to look like, or our F-16 is going to look like. Look there, with the nose cone on. I would say I'm quite happy with that at the moment, the way that's coming in, and I hope that you like it too. And we'll come back later on once we've got some gloss coats on, ready to do our other parts. Okay, thanks.